So you have tight hamstrings. Well, you've come to the right place, for I will show you some different ways that you can work on your hamstring flexibility in this video. Before we get any further, please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, you have notifications turned on, you give a thumbs up if you found this helpful, and you comment below with any other sort of mobility questions, strength training, or nutrition stuff. I'm always happy to answer. And look, if you don't really know where to get started and you feel like you want to dip your toe into the flexibility world, you can click the link below and get my ultimate hip mobility guide, guaranteed to get you out of pain and to get bendy hips. So one of the things that we can consider with hamstrings is that we often are trying to just jam ourselves into a position we aren't ready for. So I'm going to show you a foundational movement, elephant walk. Now, an elephant walk is pretty straightforward. I'm going to move these weights out of the way so I don't injure myself. The reason why I like elephant walks is because it's a nice way to get that nice big stretch into that straight leg position. It's kind of hard for us to stretch in a straight leg position. Actually, having a bent knee can be pretty helpful for most individuals because it takes the stretch, puts it right into the hamstrings and takes it away from anything that can kind of upset us sometimes down our IT band, anything like that. So, but for this purpose, you'll place your hands on the ground if you can. I'll show it this way and then I'll demonstrate it. You place it on the ground, you'll bend one leg, straighten the other, so you have that big stretch. You'll lean into that side, and then you'll bend and straighten into the other side. Now this is pretty intense if you've never done it, so the option here is to put your hands on your shins, one leg straight, the other leg bends. And we're really making sure that we shift our weight into each side. Hold for about like 3 seconds, switch to the other side, 3, 2, 1. Now if you're like, that's way too hard, I still can't do that, you can use a bench, a prop, right? I can stand here and I can bend. And while I'm here, to make sure I'm getting the most out of it, I'm pushing my butt back so I really get into that hamstring. Right, so I like doing any sort of elephant walk before I do like hardcore hamstring stretching, anything like that. Because it kind of warms everything up, lets the body know it's okay to be in that position. As you practice, you can lower your surface until eventually you get your hands to the ground. You can use yoga blocks, things like that. But again, this is a great way to get in there, be more dynamic. So that's number one. Number two, for our actual hamstring flexibility, one thing we want to think about is training our compression. Now, compression is very important. If you've ever seen anyone perform like an L-sit, that's compression. We're able to hold ourselves in that position. If we're thinking of something like a forward fold, that's compression. But we might not actually know how to get there because we can feel pretty locked in. Or we don't even know what that feeling feels like. One of the best ways to kind of think about it is if I'm in a cat-cow position, right? Here's my cow, here's my cat. This position where I'm pulling my ribs down and pulling my belly button towards my spine is a compressed position. This is kind of what we're trying to recreate when we're in our forward fold. But how do we find that? That can be kind of hard. Well, number one is you can practice by doing the cat position. So if I'm on my hands and knees here, so you can actually see up here, all I'm going to do is push away as much as I can, and then I'm going to squeeze my butt. That is a hollow position. That is a compressed position. Push away, squeeze my butt. If you can do that, then we're going to move on to this next variation. All you need is you could do it with an RX pad, you could do it with foam roller. I'm going to show it with, actually, I usually use this half roller, but what I'm going to do in this instance is I'm going to use this pad. Don't tell my wife. So for this pad, what you're going to do, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to use a mat that I have stacked up. You can use a box. And your goal is to not let me be able to move this mat from your body. It's going to help you actually feel what compression should feel like. So if I bend this and I'm here, well, your goal is to not let the mat come out. So if you look at it again, I bend over, don't let the mat come out. Well, it's coming out, so I have to actually fight to pull myself closer to that mat. That action of pulling yourself closer to the mat, that's compression. Pull, 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 pull. You do the same thing holding on to something, right? I could be here. The goal is not to let it move. Well, oh, okay, I get it. When you do this, you're gonna find that you feel cramping probably happening in your lower abs. That is completely normal. You can get that same sensation. Let's see if I can actually adjust the camera so you can see me down here. Haha. You can get the same sensation if I'm in the straight leg position, like a pike, right? This is really hard for people, so what we'll do is bring one leg in, the other leg out. You're gonna point your toes, and all you're gonna do is lift up. If you can do this, that's compression. Bring it back down, up and down. You try it on the other side, you're like, oh, okay, so now I'm combining those two things. So if I'm in a forward fold, the idea is that I wanna try to lift the legs up and find a way where I don't lose that mat. Suddenly, now you have compression. Of course, it's gonna take some time, but you can start adding it in by doing something like that compression work with a mat or something of that nature. Now we'll raise the camera back up again. Hello. Icing on top is we can start to look at like single leg flexibility. This is more advanced. I actually just started recently doing it in my workouts, but it feels great. It's quite a stretch. Now I'm gonna be holding on to two 15-pound kettlebells. You could do this with 5 pounds in each hand. It will not take a lot. You're gonna have one leg up and you're gonna use some, I'm using like a stack of blocks. You can use a bench, you can use a box, whatever you have, you can use the stairs. You'll place one leg on. Now we're gonna combine everything that we've been working on. So what we're going to do is we're actively going to push our leg down into that box, right? That's gonna activate that hamstring. We're gonna feel that contraction. And then from here, what you're gonna do is compress. You're gonna try to squeeze your butt as you drive your leg down. Squeeze your butt and let the weight pull you forward. Keep letting it pull you forward, let it pull you forward. Try to get your head to touch your big toe. Think about creating length, let it pull you forward, let it pull you forward. Breathe and drive to come back up. So one more time, I'll show you on the other side. As my dog barks. Have that leg up, driving my leg into the box to get that forward. From here, I'm going to hinge forward. So the idea is pushing your butt back. As you push your butt back, let your body and belly button tilt forward, right? Butt back, belly button tilts forward. I'm driving the leg down. Remember, find that hollow position. Pull the belly button forward. Relax. Try to get your head to touch your big toe. Breathe in, breathe out. And then drive your leg down to come back up. Now, funny thing, if you were like, whoa, that's way too advanced, maybe it was. You could do the same thing with your leg without the weight. You can have your slight bend in your knee. What you're gonna do is, from this bent position, drive that knee into the ground, let your belly button spill forward. Wow, there's a stretch. Now, because we don't have the weight, we can still use our own body weight to help us. So you're gonna drive your heel into the mat, push yourself back up. This is more of a dynamic contraction, but if we pull ourselves into this position and then push ourselves out, we're getting a double whammy here. We're getting that compression work, and we're also getting deep into that hamstring, forward and come out. So those are some different variations of hamstring work that you can do. What I suggest is practicing, find what feels best for your body, but remember, training at an end range is hard work. You're going to be sore from doing this, so don't be surprised if you feel it in your legs for a day or two. The whole point is you don't need to go this hard with your stretching every single day. If you are, you're actually going to set yourself back. So keep that in the back of your mind. And remember, if you have any questions, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, you comment below. Just let me know. I'm always happy to discuss any sort of mobility work, any sort of training work, any sort of nutrition stuff. Comment away. I'm always happy to answer. And remember, you're one day away from getting back on track and one day away from realizing how fucking amazing you are.